Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. It's the reason why we the number one show in social media. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. The Queen on her way. Don't worry about it. She coming. I got my other co-host, Donovan Sadiq. Man, I got one of the baddest men on the planet, man. Say, man, coming up out of Lafayette, Louisiana, if you don't know about Mr. Fat and this cat right here, you sleeping, bro. You sleeping, man. I got Cupid in the building tonight, man. And we finna go in, man. Say, man, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the War Zone. Without a doubt, it's a reason why we are the hottest show in social media history. A lot of people try to put on, but they really can't put on like we put on, man. It is what it is. I know the other day we had a fisticuff, but you need to understand one thing. We family, and that's what it is. We ain't gonna agree on everything, but the queen will be here in a minute. She actually is coming from the beauty salon. So I'm gonna start it off by talking about a couple of things, and then we're gonna get into this thing with our fabulous guest tonight. Um, something disturbing to me, and I think I'm gonna write a song about it. And this black on black crime thing, man. You know, we got kids getting caught up in this. Little girl, 8 years old in Atlanta, say, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough, man. You want the white man to respect you, but you won't respect yourself. See, somebody from our camp gonna have to tell it to y'all. And I don't care if you get mad at me, man. You want the white man to respect you, but you won't respect yourself. I'm talking to you youngsters out there, man. You know, one reason that I left the block, yeah, I was on the block. The reason I left the block, because you youngsters were out of control. And right now, you taking something, a movement, and you're turning it into something else. You're turning it into your own little fantasy playground. And in every hood, the real OGs need to stand up and check these youngsters, man, because they doing too much, bro. They just doing too much. And I'm gonna turn this over to Donovan and let him speak on it. Even Cupid can speak on it. Say, man, honestly, you can't ask the white man to respect you if you're not respecting yourself. And I'm gonna say this here. So you screaming no justice, no peace. Well, if you don't get no peace, you ain't gonna get no justice when you get downtown. Donovan, talk to him.
Amen, amen. There's an old saying that we always say, you can't worry about somebody else's house and your house itself is in disarray. Now, when we were coming up and something went down, Miss Shirley on the block saw you, you got your ass whipped over there. And then as you started coming back up to your house, everybody that knows what had happened took care of the situation. By the time you got home, ass was already red. And then your parents are going to jump on that. So we really, really have to get back to, policing ourselves and checking ourselves and taking our feelings out of it. At the end of the day, the question is what that person telling your child right or wrong? But you got these moms out here, man, pit bulls that have come out, don't even know the situation and will defend the child without knowing the situation. So
well, I'm gonna jump on your back on this because I mean, as much as we want to uplift the African American race, we have to be honest with ourselves that we got some piss poor parents running around here. Some of y'all should have never been parents. I'm gonna just tell you now. You really should have wore a condom that night because you really wasn't ready to be a parent. Being a parent is a full-time job, and I want you to understand. If your child lives to be 70 years old, you a parent from birth until they 70 years old. We have to teach our children more respect. We have to teach them more restraint. We have to teach them conflict resolution because everything does not have to be settled with a gun. So I see the queen just popped in. We're going to get to the guests, but what we talking about real quick is this black on black crime. And let's see, this black on black crime. And what I'm saying is We want the white man to respect us, but yet we out here every day disrespecting ourselves with each other. And I'm gonna call them out tonight. Black Lives Matter. Do they really matter? We're gonna have a whole show on this Friday. But the thing is, what are social organizations that care so much about black people? We got an 8-year-old baby on the ground in Atlanta. Demetri, talk to him.
Got put my watch on and everything. So hello, Cupid. How are you? Excuse me for being late. So anyway, black on black crime. Well, it's not really a thing per se, as much as there's no such thing as a white on white crime. Now, black on black crime does exist, but it's not this, how can I say, it's not a thing. Crimes are really about proximity. So whoever you live the closest to, so when you live closely to black people, you tend to do things to black people. Just like I'm sure hippopotamuses, they live close to each other and they tend to do things to each other. So it's really about proximity and that who you live next to. But that doesn't negate the fact that we do a lot of killing of each other. As you said, 8-year-old baby in Atlanta was shot several times. And that's been kind of an ongoing trend in Chicago and all over the place, really. And then we just saw Ricky Smiley talk about his daughter being shot. She's just going to Whataburger and she's caught in the crossfires of people shooting. She was shot 2 times. So it's something we definitely got to get a hold of. We know that the police, they're not going to do anything. And the other part of that is it just us that's doing it? Is there something else, devious going on? Because people have said, maybe it is the police or some other operatives actually going there and doing that as well. However, we do know that it is a lot of us doing the killing. So,
well, I like the hippopotamus analogy, because I would have used the instead of a hippopotamus, I'd have used donkey, because we definitely acting ass in some of these neighborhoods. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm in the neighborhoods. I mean, it was unfortunate when I heard Ricky's daughter got shot in Houston, but it's not uncommon. It's not like that was a major shock to me. But I mean, we can talk about anything, but first of all, we want to thank all of y'all for tuning in, because you could be somewhere else. And I'm a grown man at the end of the day, so I feel I disrespected my co-host the other day. So I did it live on the air, so I owe you an apology, and hopefully you accept my apology. Now we move on to get this money. We go get these knuckles and do what we do. But I got a bad man in the building tonight, man. They say, and I think she said it, Michelle Obama's favorite artist. Her favorite artist is in the building with us tonight. My man Cupid. What's going on, big dog?
Man, it's a blessing to be on the show that keep it 100 like y'all.
Say, brother, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna turn this over to the queen, and you might want to get closer to your microphone, Cupid. And Demetri will start.
I sound straight. I want to make sure I sound straight before we even get started, y'all.
Okay, we're gonna fix that.
I'm good or no?
Can y'all hear?
Hold on.
They say they can barely hear you. You gotta come up a little bit.
All right, now we're gonna get it together, dog. We're gonna get it because it's too good to not have it.
Hold on, we getting his mic straight, y'all.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, there we go. You got it, Demetri.
Where'd he go?
He might have kicked himself out.
I said, just like Cupid, he disappeared.
Froze up. Hold on.
Come back. And thank you guys for the compliment on my hair. I thank you so much for that.
Oh man. Hold on. This thing is acting crazy tonight. Hold on. I'm trying to get him back. Hold on. Oh, control. Y'all hold on a second.
In the meantime, Demetra, I know with the COVID going down and the governor closing down all these shops, you have defied the law.
How you know I didn't do it myself?
Yo.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah.
All right. So now that we got everybody situated, thank you once again for being here. It is our pleasure to have you here. And I would say, I think I've done the Cupid shuffle, maybe not good, but I've done it probably 20 times in my whole life. So it is a wildly popular song. It came out in what,
2007?
Yeah, I was about to say 8, but okay, so 2007, and you still hear the song even to this day. You go to especially any black function, they gonna do the Cupid shuffle. So
yeah.
What you're mostly known for, although that was your third album that is on, right?
Correct. I was a blues singer way before Cupid Shuffle, man. On the road with Mel Waiters, Marvin Cease, it's Big Cynthia, to name a few. So, I just wanted to try to do a line dance song in the midst of doing my blues and Southern soul and R&B, and it popped off, and so it's a blessing to have something that stands the test of time,
Right. And speaking of a line dance song, I also read that your song helped break the Guinness Book World Record with 17,000 people lined up doing the Cupid Shuffle. So you're in the Guinness Book of World Records with that. So tell us, I know how you got started, but tell everybody else how you got started.
Well, I started off in church, of course, Shout out to Progressive Baptist Church in Lafayette, Louisiana. And I've always been a church singer. And just from Louisiana, man, we party for everything. We party when people die. We party when they divorce. It's a celebration. So I wanted to find a way, how can I make R&B music that represents that type of celebration and that type of energy, And when I started, I was making my own genre, because it wasn't blues, but it wasn't R&B, it wasn't hip hop. And in the midst of that, man, I created my genre and created music like Cupid Shuffle, Do It With Your Boots On, The Love Slide, Cornbread and Greens. I just try to make that music that when you hear it, you start automatically smelling barbecue,
Right. And so another thing is, I don't think a lot of people know what you actually gave up to pursue your music career. Tell the people what that was about.
Well, yeah, I'm a collegiate track athlete, man. I ran track in college at the University of Southwest Louisiana, which is now ULL. And at the time, I could run. I love running, but that music was embedded in my soul, and it was what I was focused on. I was losing so much focus on my college track career. So I stepped out on faith and just said, I just want to pursue music, which at the time, people thought I was crazy, But, I have one of them very aggressive kind of personalities, to where if you say I can't do something, I'm going to do it just to prove you wrong. I love throwing eggs. So I love to put egg on people's face when they say I couldn't. So coming out of Lafayette, they didn't think I could get a record deal, nor did they think, I could be successful in music. So, I've always been on a mission to let people know that can't nothing stop you but yourself.
Have you had any regrets not pursuing the track and field?
No. It's hot. It's hot outside, man. It's hot. And when you start getting up to in your 30s, that track career start diminishing, man. Them bones get to moving different. But singing can last a lifetime. So I think it definitely was the best move for myself,
And your father, as a Baptist preacher, he is the one that actually encouraged you to sing, which is kind of rare, because, you hear about groups like Jodeci, where they said they kind of had a falling out with their people. I guess their fathers were pastors to some degree, and they had a falling out because it was deemed to be sinful and of the world. And so
Al Green and his father. fell out.
Yeah, a lot of people. So yours actually was the opposite. And so, why do you think he encouraged you to go ahead with the secular career opposed to staying in the choir?
Well, it's crazy because at first he didn't. And my godfather made him watch the 5 Heartbeats and the Temptations. And then he kind of caught his head like, I'm gonna lose my son if I keep on like getting in the way of his dream. But the deal that he and I made was you could do secular music as long as you don't curse. So if you follow my career since day one, I don't curse on none of my music because that was kind of like a deal I made with him. And I still hold that today. I'm grown and he come to the club in 2 steps. So, he know what it is.
Yeah, and I will for sure say that the Cupid Shuffle is very family friendly. And so I'll go ahead and pass it over to Gary or Donovan.
I jump in here, man. Man, I've been knowing you a while, and shout out to Donald Thomas, who does a lot of promotions in Southwest Louisiana for sure. I think the last time I ran into you was at a concert up in Lafayette with Anthony Hamilton.
Ooh,
and that was a minute ago, but that was a hot concert, man. One of my favorite songs. And from what I get, you're one of the easiest artists to work with. My favorite Zydeco song out of all of them, no matter what the artist is or who they are, is "Do It With Your Boots On."
Yeah.
And you being as easy to work with, how hard was it to get all them guys? And if y'all don't know, we talking about Chris Arderwin, JJ Kaye, my man J. Paul, Leon Chavis, Tucker, and what's I don't want to leave him out, Curly Taylor. To get all them boys coordinated to do that one remix. How hard was that?
It was tough, man. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, they didn't really know they was offering to be on the remix, dog. We got the verses individually, and then I was just trying to decide who I was gonna put on it, but they all went so hard. I was like, man, what if we just put them all? And it was a lot of people didn't think it could happen because the song would be too long. But I took my verses off to make sure that I could get them boys on there. Because my thing is, man, I'm a national artist. So I want people to be able to know what goes down in my city, in my area. And them boys really wasn't doing videos. So I figured this video would be a good way for them, people to see who they are nationwide and expand on their fans, man. And I'm just thankful that they did it and they cooperated to do the video too. But at the time it was challenging, man. The one thing about people down here is when we perform, see, I come from a pedigree from the talent show era, right? There's a lot of cats out here that can't sing worth a dime. They can't entertain worth a dime, but they get a pass because they got a bunch of internet followers or, they grease their hair right. You know what I'm saying? And I come from a pedigree where you got to earn your keep on that stage. So Zydeco dudes, they real protective, man. They don't, they go hard. And so it was hard to get them, not because they're beefing amongst themselves, it's because they trying to be the best at their craft. And, so it was tough, but they all broke down for that one situation. And I'm just thankful for that, bro.
I know we got a lot of viewers from all over the place, but I really want the viewers from, that got them Louisiana roots. I need you to stand up right now. I just posted my man's Cash App, his $ New Cupid. And as usual, man, we got a great artist, took time out to come sit down and talk to us. And we need to bless his game, man, because he can't work right now. He can't work right now. And I'm talking about that's a hard thing to do when that's your only source of income. So let's bless his game, man. I put his Cash App up, and it is what it is. I'm not going, a lot of people don't even understand, how integral a good producer is. And I think that you got one of the best kept secrets in the country. No
Listen,
matter what they think. I mean, from working with Chip and them, you know, them boys, to working with the X Mob, to working with, you know, Mr. Fat. How long you and Fat been together? Cause this dude is a legend by himself.
oh man, 1997, man. Me and Fat met in Lockdown Studios in Lafayette, Louisiana, man. And you know, I recorded my first CD in his living room. And first couple of CDs, man, and we ain't had no mixing, we ain't had no mastering. We were just out there getting it, bro. And I always made a vow that like if I make it, he coming. If I get paid, he get paid. It ain't nothing like, you know, nothing. And our chemistry is just so crazy. Like we wrote songs for soundtracks. Like I got a song on the Step It Up 2 soundtrack called 369, the Nancy Drew soundtrack, Jump in the Broom. We done wrote songs for High Five. I mean, features with Leon and Nate and Chris and Keed and Fishes, R.I.P. V.I. I mean, everybody. But Fat just that dude, bro. He's a musical genius. And a lot of times, there's a lot of songs that people listen to that he produced that you will never know. But dude, it ain't a piece of equipment he can't work. It ain't an instrument he can't figure out. And you know, if I'm Snoop, he Dre. You know, that's how we rock, man. And you know, the checks and the checks speak for themselves, man. That boy, he got hits, bro, and he doing his thing. So it's a blessing to just have a friend like that. And one thing about he and I, man, we square biz. It ain't nothing shady on the backside. That's my bro. And like I say, if I get paid, he get paid. That's just how it works.
And this is my last question, and I'll pass to Donovan. I don't know how you did it, but how you become Michelle Obama's favorite artist?
Man, when I heard that, on YouTube, bro, hey, like I'm like, bro, like, you know, but she from the shadow, she got that rhythm, man, you know. So it's a blessing, man. Like I said, some people have 100 hits, and then some have one that stand the test of time. Like I got a bunch of great songs, but the foundation of my career is just so solid. It ain't a place on the globe I can't go and perform at least the shuffle. So it's a blessing, bro. It really is, man.
Donovan?
All right. Hey, well, the good thing about Dr. Dre now that he's going through that divorce, to pay for it, he's gonna be putting out some new music. So that's a good thing.
So, I could tell you some story myself.
Right. No prenup. Come on now. But but you know, I just got two questions for you. Now, everybody on this show knows I'm about the money. I talk about the money. But when I'm talking to you artists, I talk about the girls. Now, I mean, in the 5 Heartbeats, Choir Boy not only, you know, continued to sing, you know, with his father's blessing, whatever, but he also, you know, came with the girls. So somebody from, you know, a Christian background and a church background, you know, how was that for you in regards to the groupies and the?
Well, I became real known locally at 21 years old. So from 21 to like 26, I got it all out my system, bro. You know, I went hard, man. But you know, nowadays, man, I'm just on chill, man, because there's too much going on, and you know, social media all crazy and stuff. So I'm on ice, man. You know, I'm like you. I'm trying to get this money, man. I can't be distracted by all the other stuff. So I'm on pause, man. Just trying to get it, dog.
Right. Now, and another question I have is now, you know, my uncle got me involved with Zydeco music, and he's really into it. He loves the dance. He loves the festivals. He loves all that stuff. But you as an artist, you know, you got some great songs out there. Are you producing and discovering any new artists possibly that might want to work with you, or are you looking for talent?
I actually am. I actually just started my label, TOC Music, which is the only Cupid Records, TOC Records. And man, I'm just looking for people who need to understand how to get money. You know, I get people all the time. My daughter can sing. I'll be like, oh, that's cool. You know, my nephew can sing. That I want to deal with people who already got their stuff situated, who don't understand that small little piece on how to get that money train going, and working with them. So I got a few artists that I'm gonna be working with in 2021 and giving them opportunities to be great, because that's something that I didn't have. I didn't have like that person to walk me in the door, and I wish I would have. I mean, of course, I don't regret the way my career has gone, and I wouldn't change anything. But if I could help somebody, man, being in the position I am financially, being in the position that I'm in my career and connect wise, I will. So yes, indeed, I will be looking for artists. If you ain't got no YouTube page, if you ain't recorded no single before, if you just sing in your shower, you gotta talk to somebody else until you get to a part where, because I'm gonna tell you, man, in 2020, people don't care how you sound. They just care about, do you have presence? They don't want to hear you, they want to hear about you. And that's kind of like, these days is about that. So if you ready and you on that level, we can definitely elevate it to the next level.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, we've heard a lot of artists lately, and it's like, so you got a record deal, huh? I mean, because people aren't really singing anymore. But like you said, I guess it's that overall presence, that it factor is what they call it. But you had mentioned something about liking talent shows, and you went on The Voice. I guess it was like 2011 or so.
Yeah.
What made you do that, even after all of the success you've had up until that point? What made you want to audition for The Voice?
So when I was on The Voice, I was at a point in my career where I was in between. I just like left Atlantic, and I was real frustrated at the fact that people didn't think I could really sing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sitting up here singing, now you see what I'm talking about, oh, and doing all these runs, and I'm like, y'all don't hear me singing, right? So The Voice sent an email to my lawyer, which at the time, they want people who have record deals or had record deals to come on the show. So I get on the show, and it was like, my goal was just to get people to really know that I could really, really, really sing. TV is TV. So I ain't want to sing Cupid Shuffle. I was like, I don't want to sing that. But they were like, we want you to sing the Cupid Shuffle. So the inside scoop on that is basically, there was a contract that had to be signed. And the contract basically stated that if you get on the show, pass the blind auditions, we own your catalog forward and backward. So I had been in LA for 2 months, and right before the blind auditions, which y'all saw on TV, I hadn't signed my contract. So they pulled me in the room and they said, you got 3 choices. 1, you can go home and act like none of this happened. Now, mind you, at the time I was married, and I couldn't go back home talking about ain't nothing happened being in LA for 2 months, right? So that's out the window, right? Number 2, you could either sign this contract, sing Marvin Gaye, possibly win the show, and everything be good, but they'll own Shuffle. Or you could 3, not sing, and we not sure they're gonna turn around. Not sign, and we not sure they're gonna turn around. So this is like 30 minutes before it's my turn to get up there and sing, man. So I had to roll the dice, and I said to myself, I tell you what, if I sing my own song, they don't own it, so I'm gonna get the sales off of it. If they don't turn around, at least I sang it for the 47 million people, and and that was that. So I got up there, man, and I just sang my record. And a lot of people was like, why you signing the Cupid Shuffle? You so dumb, you so stupid. Like Charlamagne even made me like donkey of the day that day, like, you know what I mean? But you gotta think, like, contractually, all them songs that you get to that you don't pick your song. The song that they put on the list for you to choose is already pre-recorded and ready to sell after you do it. But they wanted mine, and I was like, nah, man, I ain't talking to no fool. Like, I'm from Louisiana, but I ain't stupid. So I went up there and I played them for their 47 million viewers. And after the smoke cleared, man, I had the number 2 selling song that week on iTunes. And you know, the testament today. Now, the coldest part about that was, y'all, I don't know if you saw the episode, but CeeLo turned around and he already knew what the play was. So CeeLo was like, Cupid, I know you can sing something else. And that was kind of his alley-oop for me to sing Marvin Gaye, but still, you know what I'm saying, like, keep my stuff. So shout out to CeeLo Green, man, as always, forever my friend for that. And you know, it's TV, man. It's TV. People don't think they think that what they see on these shows be like 100, but man, they was trying to get me to sign a real bad situation. And nah, man, can't do it.
Yeah, because and that's what I actually read is that CeeLo Green went to bat for you. And it sounds like, because I didn't see it, I've never even seen actually one episode of The Voice, but I read about it. And it sounds like he was like, well, you know, maybe if you would have sang a different song, you know, it turned out different. So like you said, he was, you know, playing for you in the background, you know, trying to like get you out there. So I thought that was.
Yeah, he did that, man. And, you know, it's crazy. Like, let's keep it 100, man. Since, you know, y'all keep it 100 on this show. How in the goddamn hell you ain't gonna turn around by me singing the Cupid Shuffle like I don't sing that thing the right way? Like, that was so stupid on their part. Like I'm like, you really gonna sit up here and say you didn't turn around because you thought it was the record? How goofy is that? Like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it was because they wanted that bread, bro. But no, you gotta be quicker than that. You gotta be a little quicker than that. Shout out to the boys and they 47 million viewers, though. That's for sure.
Well, you know what, man? I ain't never been shy when it comes to music. And a lot of people don't realize that I started my music career right there in Southwest Louisiana. I started it in Lafayette, Louisiana at Club Witness with Fox over at Club Witness. You know, my man Mike that was blind. I can't remember Mike's last name.
Michael Lockett, baby.
Michael Lockett and Kenny Wayne was singing background for him. Yes, so I ain't never been a shy dude. So my man up here, you know, I do music. So my man Alonzo Scott put a comment up. He say, you looking for new music. You looking for new artists. I'm going to put it to you like this here, man. I'm the best kept secret in Texas. They can't do nothing with me. We need to have a conversation off that.
Man, I got records. I got records sitting in this email right now, ready, dog. I'm working with everybody. Let's go.
Let's do it. But I'm gonna tell you this here, man. One, a lot of people don't realize how influential not just rap music, but Zydeco, you know, the Southern soul aspect of it. How that whole music scene is so influential in Southwest Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana in a whole has a great music scene, but that Southwest Louisiana feel of it is just totally different. It's because different. From the artists to the DJs, you know, shout out to Dobie D, a legend, straight up legend, man. You know, Troy D, them legends, man, in the game. You know, my only regret, and I wonder if you ever think about it. You know, back in the day, they had a club called Strawberries. I feel to never perform at that one, dog, because I could just see you in there ripping that thing up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you know, I never performed at Strawberries, man, but I performed at Kingfish Beach in the back right before it closed. And man, that I've been at Strawberries plenty times, man, and let me tell you, they don't make them like that no more. That's the only club. Listen to me. Let me tell y'all how historical this is for y'all who may not know. Tupac got beat up in that club.
Took a chain off his neck. I was there.
Hey, that's an urban legend. Willis T beat the man and took his chain and wore it in the hood. So that's Strawberries. You ask anybody from the 337 area code, they'll tell you that club right there. If you survive that club, you probably can survive COVID-19.
If you could do Strawberries, if you could crack Strawberries, then you was ready for the state of Louisiana.
Anything, man.
That was some night, Dimitri, worse than the Apollo. You had to bring it in there. If you didn't bring it, they gonna show you.
They will boo anybody. Jay-Z, Bone Thugs and Harmony. You come up there halfway, you get booed off the stage. And so you had to come with it.
So let me ask you a question, man. I know you said I don't even know if you know, but back in the day, I was signed to Parlay Records along with the X Mob, along with Vicious, who is a true, and those that don't know music, a true Louisiana legend when it came to rap music. That
Number
was my
one.
brother on Parlay Records. And I'm gonna tell Demetra and Donovan, when I say this dude here could just flat out go with anybody in the industry, he could flat out go with anybody in the industry. Vish problem, he couldn't stop drinking.
I forgot.
He'll tell you, he a full-time hustler, part-time alcoholic.
I forgot my boy, man. But you know,
How did knowing Vish and even working with Vish help you with your career?
so man, as a youngster, you know, you got to remember, I'm in the club dancing. You know, I'm cutting up, and then I met Vicious in Mamu, Louisiana, man, and you know, he was just the OG gangster. And he was like, you know, man, I like your little style, man. You know, all that dancing, you know, that you be doing, man. But you all right. Because, you know, we had the little girls going crazy. And I never forget, man, he was like, I want you to sing a hook. And went to the studio, and I was singing I'ma get a meal. If the task don't get me, or a blast don't hit me. And he was like, man, you got to sing that like you in the streets, man. I'm like, Vicious, I ain't never really been in the streets before. Nah, man. Come on, man. So he's like, I want you to cry when you sing this. So I'm in there thinking.
This wasn't nothing but a clown, man. He gonna make you laugh. He don't do nothing else.
I'm in there thinking about the most sad events in my life, and I start singing that hook, and that's one of Vicious' biggest songs, man. Is Get a Meal. I'm on Fly Away. Shout out to Bundy. And you know, Vicious was that type of dude, man. The one thing I can say about the OGs in my city that I'm blessed for, especially in the music game, is they watched over you, boy. When I was like little, man, they was like, man, he don't want no trouble, man. Whatever, like they kept an eye on me, man. So I'm forever grateful for Vicious, man, and Vicious, Big Boom, and them, all of the cats out here, man. You know, who just be doing their thing, getting money, doing their thing. I'm very thankful for that, man.
Donovan.
Oh no, I was just jumping in the comments there, but I just got this question. Are you going to give us any performance tonight, or how are we going to do that?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna sing.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust boots up for y'all tonight. Yeah, man.
So you actually got your name because you sang Cupid by Sam Cooke, right?
Yeah.
What is the weirdest assumption that you heard about how you got your name? You know, because when you think of somebody's name being Cupid, you think maybe because they're, you know, like a Don Juan, or, you know, they're such a, you know, great lover or something like that. So what is the weirdest misconception you've heard?
Well, you know, I've heard some crazy stuff, man, but I think more than hearing anything crazy, it's the way people pronounce my name or spell it that kills me. Like, I'll be on a flyer and they'll be like, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Cupid, a Q with a B-I-D. And I'm like, what? Like, I swear to God, like my name got spelled so many crazy ways on on these flyers, man. But you know, shout out to Mel Waiters, man, who kind of helped with my name. He was like, that's that little boy that always sing Cupid. So people started calling me that. It wasn't the most popular name at the beginning, but it kind of just stuck, man. And so, you know, it's all good. I'll say this. Like my man said, I'm probably one of the nicest, easiest to work with artists ever. So I'll say that I'm probably the nicest artist like you probably ever meet. So I think that kind of falls in line with Cupid and just, you know, gotta love and just loving all my people. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I don't know if you can, but I heard the new single with you and Zero. And that thing there is ridiculous. And of course, we got people on here that probably heard a snippet of it and want to know, you know, they know you're going to sing something tonight, and they want to know if they can hear it on, man. I can't answer that. Only you can.
I can't not do the single, man. I got to do it, man. Woman, it's called Like Me featuring Zero. And you know, Cupid and Zero, like whenever I told people I had Zero on the record, they was like, how? Like, how y'all made that work? But you know, I love working with my favorite artists, not just artists that just fit a record. And Zero is one of the coldest dudes, man, I ever just like dude is from rapping to singing to harmonies to just everything. So yeah, man, he came through for his boy, man, and this record is crazy.
Well, you got the flow, big dog. It's all on you.
I'm gonna see if I can play it. Now look, do like this if I need to turn it up, or do like this if I need to turn it down, okay? So we're gonna run it. This is called Like Me, Cupid featuring Zero. Let's go. Here we go. Cupid! This one for the ladies. Let's go. She said, oh, you ready for a woman like this? Must not know about me. Must not know about me. Hey, everybody, let me tell you a story. Right hand in the air, I'm telling the truth. I ain't never met this kind of woman. That'll make you feel the way she do. She say, first of all, I ain't your ex. So you can get that out of your mind. She said, boy, let me ask you a question. Before you mess around and cross this line. She said, sing it, ladies. All the ladies in the club will be singing this at the top of their lungs. Look. Hey, this my verse. Check this out. Look, I'm looking like, girl, you must be crazy. Look, you must ain't heard about me. Look what I told her. You gonna need a little bit more than a ladder. If you wanna try to climb this tree, she say, boy, I don't need no ladder. Keep talking out the side of your neck, out of your neck. She said, I'ma make you say my name, say my name. All right, now you gotta sing it for me, sister. Make you gotta sing it for me, sister. Here you go. Respect for my name. You gotta say, are you ready for a woman like me? You gotta say, are you ready for a woman like me? Say that. Must not know about me. Let's go, Zero.
I don't know what this woman been smoking. Probably been smoking at work. She better realize that I ain't the one. I don't play that shit, baby, I'm not joking. Who you think you're talking to with that disrespectful tongue? Hold up, I am not your child, don't get it twisted. I'm real new, I handle business. I ain't trying to fight, just trying to spend the night. Put your leg on my shoulder, let me touch your kidney. Look, I'm a leader, not a fighter. I drink brown liquor straight out the bottle. I don't give a damn if she a mile or what. If she acting bougie, I'ma treat her like she's wild.
You ready for a woman like me? Boy, y'all know them. Boy, y'all know them cougars gonna be singing that.
I was just saying in the comments, that brings me back to the 1990s. You got that little G-funk on the fringe. You know, you can play it, you know?
You a music man. For you to hear that, you a music man. That's exactly what that is.
Yep, like Dr. Dre. So is there gonna be a dance to that?
You know, I'm not gonna make one, but I think, you know, the way my career has gone, if I make a song, if I remake Amazing Grace, somebody gonna put a line dance to it, bro. You know, so it's probably gonna be one to them.
Well, one thing I would say is you are a lot of fun. I mean, just like your whole being, you're just like, say you don't have any cares, but you're just really carefree and just, it's really nice to have someone like that on the show who's just, hey,
Yeah,
everything.
I appreciate that, my sister. It's just a blessing, man, just to be able to just make this music and say all kind of crazy stuff in the music and just vibe. And we got enough negative stuff already going on, so why not try to be the opposite?
Yes, indeed. Fellas?
Okay. How bad has the pandemic affected your career?
Well, on the performance side, it's tough because I love to perform. But personally, it's really expanded my growth as an artist, as a writer, with my label. Um, I'm really like ready to perform. I'm not gonna lie. It's irritating, but at the end of the day, I've always learned that you can't stress over what you can't control. So whenever they turn us loose, I'm busting out the cage full speed. But until then, you know, you gotta just be careful, and wait for these clowns to figure out what they're gonna do with the vaccines and whatever else they got going on. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a question. I know last night in Seattle, you kind of was involved in something. I don't know if you even know.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know, man. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So if y'all didn't know, you kind of tell the people what happened, Cupid, and how you ended up all the way from Lafayette, Louisiana, involved in something in Seattle, Washington.
Well, man, this young lady, they were out protesting, of course, Black Lives Matter. Young Caucasian lady, and someone plowed a vehicle into the crowd, hitting her, hitting several other people, and killing her while they were doing a unity break, is what they call it, where everyone gets together and do the Cupid Shuffle. So in the middle of the Cupid Shuffle, the last song that young lady heard before she got hit and killed was Cupid Shuffle. So Sean King, who was a very huge activist, posted it. And I mean, like, I had a dream about that last night. Like, it was bad. Like, I woke up in my dream and, like, my girl, like, you all right? You all right? I'm like, yo, and then I told her the dream, but I didn't realize. I was like, why would I be having this dream? And she was like, because of that girl. And it was just like freakish dream, bro, about that. So, prayers to her, man, and her family. And it's some crazy hate and evil stuff going on right now. But that really has kind of like affected my spirit, because my music is for celebration, man. It's not to represent stuff like that. And the devil is busy. And I just, again, her condolences to everybody who was a part of that in Seattle, and to her family, man.
Donovan?
Well, let me ask you a quick question. I usually ask a lot of the guests that come on here. If you had to give advice to a young and up and coming artist, what would you advise them to do in regards to maybe their education? Should they go on to college? And I know you could do both at the same time, but at the end of the day, you hear these horror stories in the industry where you don't own your publishing. You don't, a lot of people, they just want to get on the radio and they're just excited because they're young, and the industry takes advantage of them. What would you, $1 million advice that you would give, knowing your experience in the industry?
Man, I would say do it. First of all, if you do it for money, you in trouble, because chasing that dollar is what makes you see these artists. They look like they just like they're physically they just drain because they chasing the wrong thing. You got to be in love with it, man. If you're not, it's gonna take you under. And then secondly, college is great, but always seek an advisor and seek somebody who's done it before, as far as the musical side. Like, if you meet somebody who's living off of music, that's who you want to inquire about. Like the music education is very important because music is the one thing that you can make money from without having to tour. Again, residual income, streaming, publishing, mechanicals, all of those things pay you while you sit at home. And the more bored people are, and the more they're listening to the radio, the more you get paid. So education is key, but music education is key. So seek that musical education outside of your collegiate or high school education and know what you're getting into. Don't be signing no paper. Imagine if I would have signed that old crazy voice contract, the situation I would have been in, So when you educated, man, you can really avoid some very deep pitfalls.
Demetri?
Yes. So going back to the COVID, we've heard a lot of artists and even a lot of entertainers saying that they've been severely financially harmed because they can't tour, because I guess a lot of music artists get most of their revenue from touring. In your opinion, how is it that they ended up that way? And do you think it was necessarily their fault? Because we're hearing a lot of artists, like even, okay, for example, we've heard about D.L. Hewley, he came up with the COVID or whatever. Now, when I saw that he was I guess he was in Tennessee somewhere, a nightclub or whatever, performing, right away, I was like, he's out there because he needs the money. There's no way he's out there doing these little, circuits and stuff, especially in the climate that we're in. And then I dug a little deeper, and he said that 70% of his income was stopped due to not being able to tour and stuff. And so, in your opinion, how do you think people get to that point, and how can they avoid it?
It's unavoidable. I mean, it's unavoidable. It's like asking a truck driver to say, oh, hey, just save enough money so where if a pandemic comes, you don't have to drive your truck for a year. It's not like, I know for entertainers, people feel like, you don't just stash your money so you don't have to work, but it don't work. Ask any doctor, any lawyer, any nurse, if you're not working, you're not eating. You're going to have a little reservoir of money. But when you're relying on that, like nobody would have ever thought that in 100 million years we'd be going through what we're going through right now. So, of course, like, people, they gotta work. Like myself, the same way. Like, I mean, I can live off my residuals forever. However, I mean, I got used to bringing in that income that was coming in. So, I get into it all the time with people, man, because I think that it's just very, like, it's a lot of people who say, stay in the house and put your mask on and all that. That's cool. But you got a lot of people who rely on social gatherings to make money, like stadium workers and the janitor at the Staples Center and every entertainer, or the guitar player for 4 church bands, or, the bass player for this band and that band. So, it's easy to sit back, and you got to realize, artists, we can't collect unemployment like most of folks because we don't get no W-2. So you can't just pull up to the spot and be like, oh, I play bass, where's my unemployment? And they're going to say, oh, here's the check. Nah, it don't work like that. So there's a lot of people who need social gatherings to happen in order to be able to take care of their families. And, I get a little sensitive about that because it's selfish. I think for people to just say, you stay in the house and I get that. But like, if you're really scared about COVID, you stay in the house. And then, I mean, what you want the artist to do? And then, because ain't nobody letting nobody borrow no money, and nobody's saying, oh, here, you know what? I want you to protect everybody. So you stay home and I'm giving you 10 racks to pay your bills. Nor is the light companies or gas companies or cable companies not charging people for their bills. So if you charging people for bills, they still got to pay for tuition. They still got to pay for school. It's hard to sit there and say, oh, stay in the house because of the times, because it's like, what I'm gonna do, So it's difficult, man. I can't even sit here and say that there's a strategy to save enough money, because I don't think that that's fair. Because I don't think any other occupation, the guy that works at McDonald's or the guy that works at the gas station, they not in there, but they can be, and they have to work every day. The Walmart workers in there every day. So I feel like, if you got people that want to go out and watch a concert, I mean, like, and they want to wear their mask and wash their hands and all of that. I mean, it's kind of hard, man. Like I know a lot of musicians suffering right now because of this. So I'm on the side of the fence on both sides. I understand both sides, but you know, in DL's position, you know, the way he lives, he gotta make his money, you know.
And you know, I totally understood that, and you know, I hope that it come off as judgmental.
No, you good. No. I know. Look, we right here. I felt you. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked that because a lot of times it's good for us to talk about that on both sides, you know. And I can tell that you understand it, by you know when you ask that because you know, like cats gotta work, like, and I don't think people see it because they assume entertainer just got so much money stashed, but not everybody does, you know.
Right. No, I mean, and I think you made a good point in explaining that because you know automatically when you hear, oh my God, and you know, in artists they're struggling. Automatically, people think, oh well, they were irresponsible. They was out there tricking off all their money. You know, they was living big and bad, and now look at them, and it's like, well, like you said, the bills keep on rolling in. You know, it doesn't. Those things don't stop, and so I just think nobody, like you said, really anticipated the COVID. I mean, in fact, we're still in a lot of states. It's I think 30-something states is still going up. So, man. I mean, we may never get to a point in the near future to where we're able to, you know, go do those things again. Well, my last question is, how many times can you count rather that you've been compared to looking like Avant?
I'm gonna tell you, I get Avant. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all better not.
Joe.
Y'all better not laugh if I tell y'all this. Okay, when I was a kid, they used to call me the Black Power Ranger. So they say I look like Avant, the Black Power Ranger. What's that boy name? Charles Woodson. I done heard a bunch of them, man. So
Joe, the artist Joe, a little bit.
They all handsome, you know. They stay straight, so it's all good, you know. You know what I mean? You know, it's all good. I think, you know. Y'all just don't want to be talking about no mastodon, triceratops. Man, we gonna y'all cold blooded for that.
I'm gonna jump over into that last bit of conversation y'all had, and I need those people out there who are parents of kids that want to be recording artists, whether they're R&B, whether they rap, whatever, gospel singers. The reason a lot of these guys are struggling because they never had the money to begin with. What you see on TV is a fabrication, man. What you see on TV is what the record label owns.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's why some of these dudes are mysteriously dying when they want their masters. You know, because the label is making all the money.
Yeah.
You know, the Megan Thee Stallions, I love you. But the label is financing that lifestyle. So when you know the rule of the game, Cupid, you're only as good as your last record.
Yeah, man.
You're only as good as your last record. And what that means is when you're not selling records, that lifestyle goes out the window.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people when the cameras go off, when it ain't no microphones and the club ain't got no folk in it, they go right back to the projects, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
They go back. So the biggest misconception is that a lot of people, they're struggling because, you know, they just not working. No, a lot of these guys are struggling because they never made the money to begin with.
Thanks.
They never made it to begin with. So you know, I saw a comment on here, you know, when you were speaking of the advice you could give an artist. And the one thing I would tell an artist is let your lawyer read your contract. Stop trying to read that contract. You can read it word for word. But if you don't understand it, then you're going to have a problem, man. You're going to have a major problem, man. And it's not very hard to figure out, Cupid. You know just as well as I do. Tell me when my release date is. Tell me how I get paid. Because I had a label trying to sign me and had no release date. So that means you can hold me forever before you release my first project, and then we got 2 projects after that. No, you need a release date. You need to figure out how you're getting paid and when you're getting paid. So, you know, I'm gonna tell you this here, and these are my final thoughts. You've always been a great ambassador for the state of Louisiana, the city of Lafayette. A great role model for kids in the industry. And there's a lot of kids in Southwest Louisiana that just want to do some type of music. So they're just not locked into rap music. They want to do something. That's how you end up with the youngsters, with the Leons and the Chris's in the Zydeco field. They just want to do music. So you've always been a great ambassador, and for that I salute you, my brother. That's my final words. Donovan?
Yeah, my final words, man. That last single that you just played tonight was hot. I expect to hear that on Power 106 here in the West Coast. I mean, brought me back to my 1990s. And, you know, and nothing against the young folks and stuff, but us old folks, we like to have fun and reminisce. Dimitri and I went to an old club we used to go to 30 years ago. You know, feels good. So like I said, brother, much success continue to you. You know, we need to, you know, show some of these, you know, youngsters, you know, music. I mean, a lot of them aren't doing music anymore. I mean, it's just almost like a lost art. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Final thoughts, Ms. Dimitri.
My final thoughts or words are just thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. It has been a pure joy to listen to your new song and have a conversation with you. And, you know, please come back whenever you want. Just hit one of us up and say, hey, I want to come on. We'd love to have you here.
Absolutely. When I drop my my next single, my next video, I would like to, you know, come back on and everything. And again, guys, I can't thank y'all enough for y'all platform. There's a lot of artists out here who just want to just say hello and just let people know what's going on. So thank y'all, and thank y'all for keeping it 100. Like, y'all don't play. My man came out here at the gate with that real about the streets, and I respect that, and I appreciate y'all, man.
So we appreciate you, brother. And you when you get ready to do your video, drop your singles, we're gonna touch bases. Before we get off here, we're gonna stay in the back room for a second. And you free to come back, bring your artists, and make sure next time when you come, bring Fat, because I mean that dude there is truly a legend. For those that don't know, who got to put the music together for this man, and for a lot of artists in the state of Louisiana, my man do a lot of good work.
Look, I'm gonna put you with him, and let's just make that happen. He need a segment, man, because if that he can go 2 hours telling y'all the records he did and the stories behind them. So let's set that up, man.
No doubt. I mean, we can bring him on. He can do his own segment. I would love for him to do it. Y'all make sure y'all hit Cupid Cash App. And man, just bless me, man. Send me out of here with my boots on, man.
Man, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna be singing it, so it ain't no word. Here we go. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it live. Here we go. Let's go. Hold on. That is that you gotta have that hood. If it ain't got that hood, it don't work. Here we go. Hold on, go back. We gotta hit it, we gotta do it right. Hey, you looking good, huh? Hey, but you look better with the boots on. Say that, you doing good, all right, good. Stuck with it for the country folk out there. Do it with your boots, do it with your boots, do it with your boots, do it with your boots on, do it with your boots, do it with your boots, do it with your boots, do it with your boots on, do it. Hey, let's go. Let me see you do it. Oh, here we go. Listen. Party in your boots, jig in your boots. If you gon' do it, jig with your boots. Fly with your boots, pose with your boots. Country swag, rodeo with your boots. I dug you in my boots, so clean all in my boots. Show them hands off, I take my jeans and them boots. Keep them things shine all the time, kind of boots. Started looking fine all the time, kind of boots. Yeah. It don't matter where I go. Country music, alrighty go. Please bring my feet to that home. Going with the flow. Shuffle with your boots, slide with your boots. We ain't never scared by the die with the boots. She love my boots, I love her boots. Represent your social love boots. Sexy rodeo ride boots. Yeah, we are about to go live boots. Overseas military mind boots. Leaning with the first supply boots. Hey, it don't matter where I go. Country music, society cold. It's too funny, and then it's you that home. Hey, hey, going in the flow with the move, with the move, with the do it. Hey, hey, do it with the move song, yeah. Let me see you go. Let me see you do. Hey, it's my part right here, though. All the names out there. Ain't nothing in the world more sexy than a what? A woman with her boots on. Yeah, oh my. Yeah. Yeah, you do it with your boots, if you do it with your, if you do it with your one whole time, put it fine, let me see you, come on, do it, hey, that's it, y'all, do it with your boots on, yeah, man, that's that country right there.
Hey man, I really appreciate it, brother. You welcome to come back. So just hang on, don't go nowhere. So tomorrow night, last week we had Tanya Bird on. She's running for constable in Fort Bend County. She said she was raped. And tomorrow, we got the guy on the show that actually raped her. Y'all might need a seatbelt for this one. But the kicker is, he say he didn't do it. He say he did not do it. So the only thing I can say is gonna be what it need to be tomorrow night, man. It's gonna be what it need to be. So thank you guys for tuning in as usual. And we couldn't do this without y'all. It wouldn't even be possible. It would not even be possible. So with that being said, we finna get up out of here. I want to thank my co-hosts, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Tomorrow night, say it in Rayful. We're going to talk about it on the War Zone. I can promise you that. You're going to need a seatbelt for this one, though. Until then, I holler at y'all.